Ste. Marie was recently privileged in welcoming Charlie Acord to the Water Tower to perform songs from his latest album, Triumph and Disaster. Having won the East Coast Music Award for R&B and Soul Recording as well as Blues Recording of the Year in 2013, the performance was one to remember.
Triumph and Disaster was a record for me that represented probably the most collaborative project that I've ever done in my career, in all aspects of the production of the album, from the songwriting to the instrumentation, to the producing, to the people who played on it, and right down to like the artwork and the manufacturing of the CD. From a time standpoint, it had been 6 years since my studio record before that. I had done lots of live stuff in between, but it had taken me that long to get back to the studio. I guess what I'm trying to say is basically is life, you know, just life. You never know where it's going to take you. You never know where your craft is going to take you, and when you work in something as malleable as the arts, you never know day to day. You paint this roadmap of where you're going, but you don't really know if that's the direction you're heading in. And so, fast forward 6 years, and I'm like, you know, I want to get in the studio. So when we got into the studio to do the album, for me it meant it was time for reflection on where I was as an artist, as a lyricist, and a singer, a guitar player, however you want to label me. For me, it was a real opportunity to, you know, put the cards on the table emotionally and creatively. And I was thrilled, like, to have worked with Chris Kirby, who produced the record. He's in St. John's, Newfoundland. He's got great songwriting chops and great ears, and a piano player. So sometimes there's stories that you want to tell that maybe are too close to you, and you need to have someone else's perspective to help really finish the songwriting process. Someone who perhaps the story hasn't happened to, you know, or hasn't affected the same way it's affected you. And so you really have to be, it's almost being in a personal relationship with somebody where you feel comfortable opening up yourself to that person. And it's the same way when you're creating music, because you want to be able to sort of tap into each other's energy and tap into each other's perspectives and life experiences and that sort of thing. So it can be a very, you know, it can be a very intimate process from a creative standpoint. Well, I'm thrilled to be playing with the musicians that come out on the road with me, because they're dedicated musicians. I've known these guys for years. And so on bass and vocals is Kev Corbett, and on drums and vocals is Keith Mullins, and these guys performed the tracks on the record. And so they know the songs intimately. They know my style, they know my personality, of who I am when I'm on stage versus who I am when I'm off stage. And you know, you get to a point when you play with people for so long that there's a bit of a synergy, a communication that happens where it's just a look, where there's no sentences exchanged, but everyone is in the same mindset and all moving in the same direction. And when you get to that point as a band, there's no better feeling, because you know that there's something really magical happening. Well, just before this tour started, I had been in Australia for about 5 weeks, and I've been working on the new record there with a producer there, and that'll be out in the fall later this year. So working on that pretty much over the summer while I, you know, in between being on the road for festivals and stuff. You know, anytime I'm not on stage, I'll probably be in the studio finishing the record. And so, you know, folks can find me online. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. They can go to charlieacord.com. And I love to connect with people. So when I get a chance, like when I'm off the stage and I'm sort of traveling between shows, you know, I'm always in a conversation with somebody, maybe with a somebody who was in the audience from the night before. To be able to do that online is just such a, it just makes perfect sense to make that a part of your, just a part of your creative output.
If you'd like to learn more about the music and connect with Charlie online, you can find him on Facebook. Reporting for Shaw TV, I'm Christian LeMay.